Hello, kindred spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be diving in together to see the end of your spooky season and what tricks and treats are on their way in for you as we near Halloween. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here on the channel today. We are going to be looking into those tricks and treats on their way in. They're going to be a lot of fun, and there's quite a variety here, so definitely feel free to choose more than one pile if you feel called to. They're a lot more bite-sized here, so do feel free to have fun and play with it. And also feel free to get yourself cozy and settled with a nice little drink or a cozy little snack and get into the spooky vibes. I have a little spider ring and everything getting into it, and I hope you enjoy the festivities. And also, if you are interested in looking deeper into this reading or another kind of reading where we're looking into a spirit guide, looking into maybe career or a topic around love, whatever you wish, feel free to reach out for a snail mail reading where I send a letter to you in the mail. It's typewritten on a vintage typewriter for your eyes only, with it wax sealed closed. And I also like to add in some handmade spell and ritual papers for your own rituals to kind of heighten your own magic and connect with the reading even further with a custom sigil. So if any of that is kind of intriguing you or getting you excited for the spookier ends of the season, then definitely feel free to reach out for one of those. And I also have handmade spell and ritual papers out right now too that you can get individually for the season. So with that all said, let's go ahead and look at your piles. So we have 3 different piles here, and of course, like I said, they're very bite-sized readings, so I had to go for little bite-sized snacks and treats. So for your treat for pile number 1, if you're feeling called to the grape flavored Jolly Rancher and the crystal that is very yellow, then this might be the pile for you. Here for pile number 2, if you're feeling called to this very green crystal, as well as the airhead here of the flavor of orange, then this might be the pile for you. And then last but not least here for pile number 3, if you're feeling called to this little fluorescent pink, as well as the Laffy Taffy flavor of sour apple, then this might be the pile for you. But before you start heading off to your piles and to the timestamps, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me in a moment to really connect with your guides, connect with your own intuition and the spooky season. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there are no rules to this. You can choose all 3 of the piles, you can take little bites out of each of them and spit out the bits that aren't really good for you. There really are no rules to this. And I'll have all the timestamps listed down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I mentioned earlier, if you'd like a snail mail reading or your own handmade spell and ritual papers, or any other of the offerings that I provide, then definitely feel free to reach out for any of those down below or see any more information down there as well. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you decide to choose this Jolly Rancher with the grape flavor, as well as this little yellow crystal, then this is the pile for you as we look into your tricks and treats as we move into more of the October season, into the final week as we head towards Halloween or Samhain, which is the spookiest time. So I'm very excited to get into the spooky vibes here with you, and I hope you guys are enjoying them already with the decor that I pulled out today, a little spider ring, all that fun stuff. We're going to be looking into your cards and charms today. So we're going to have the charms, we're going to be using the Trick or Treat Tarot, of course, and we're even going to get into a spooky deck with the Spellcasting Oracle. And just like last year, I am going to, give credit where credit is due. We are going to be using this spread within the Trick or Treat companion book for the Trick or Treat Tarot, where we're going to be doing this spread where we're going to look into your costume, your trick, your treat, and the sort of exciting surprise, whether it's good or bad, at the bottom of the candy bowl. So definitely feel free to get yourself settled and cozy, comfortable, and spooky. And let's get right into it. So we're going to start first with your costume. So this is going to be a card looking into your current mindset as we go into the rest of the month of October, and then probably the coming week. So this isn't going to be a super far out spread, and who knows, this might even just talk about things that are just generally on your mind. Yeah, we're going to see where your mindset is and see what costume you might be wearing. So let's see, group 1, what is your costume, the mindset that you are, kind of wearing right now? Ooh. So since this one came up closer, I'm going to take the 9 of Swords, but I do find it funny because I was reviewing last year's reading just to see kind of what I did, and this was one of the cards that came up. So if you are feeling this King of Wands, then definitely feel free to check out, I think it was pile 3 from last year's trick or treat video. It's funny that it sneaked in, but let's just have a little look here. So the costume that you are wearing, we have here the 9 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords clearly doesn't look like the most exciting costume. It's one that shows a bit of a scare, a bit of a, because it's the Halloween season, it's kind of making me feel like it has like a positive spin to it, in that like the 9 of Swords usually talks about our fears. It talks about the things that we're nervous or having anxiety about, that we are, at the end of the day still thinking about before we go to bed, right? The stuff that just continues to ruminate in our minds. And in this case, I really feel like, when people watch scary movies over and over and over, and they know that they're probably not that great for them, but they enjoy the thrill of the scare. It's kind of feeling like maybe you're learning to kind of spin that mindset from something being scary in your life, maybe a fear that you're overcoming or a fear that you are confronting, and learning how to better react to. And I feel like there's a little bit of movement happening in that situation, and that you're maybe feeling a little bit less like it has to be as scary or as nerve-wracking, or maybe it still is, and yet you're still facing it, you're still looking it in the face, and you're telling it off. And I think that that's really admirable, and really, it takes a lot of courage to do, to face our fears, not just to acknowledge that we have these fears, but also to face them on our route to overcoming them. So that's really exciting to see for your mindset. But I want to look into what the guidebook here has to say, because I did that last year and it was really fun, just sort of, exploring what these all have to say in here. So let's see what the guidebook's idea is on the 9 of Swords here. So it says, one of the downsides of dressing up as Sleeping Beauty is that if you close your eyes, you don't know who might sneak up and try to kiss you awake. While our mischievous monster was just getting in the spirit of things, Beauty probably wasn't prepared to see such an ugly mug instead of her charming prince. The shock may stick with her for a while and maybe keep her up at night. When this card comes up, you are having trouble sleeping or are otherwise fretting over something, or perhaps nothing in particular, but just everything in general. We've all been there. In the language of tarot, swords can represent thoughts. In this card, these thoughts are usually about things you can't do anything about. If they were, then you would just write them down to handle them in the morning and then get back to sleep. Now, these thoughts are just the self-inflicted torture ones. It's a frustrating card indicating a frustrating situation, and any chance offered will sound patronizing. Whoever comes up with a real cure for this experience will become a millionaire. The key words are obsessive thoughts, sleeplessness, nightmares, worries, guilt, despair, and oppression. And the reversed side, which you didn't exactly get here, is insomnia and overuse of sleeping aids. So when I'm looking at this one, like I said, I feel like you're overcoming a fear or you're facing that fear, but some of you might be feeling more of what the guidebook has to say here, and you're welcome to pause and really read through that again if you'd like to. But it's possible for some of you, maybe you're still stuck in that situation where, that rumination or cycle of thoughts continues to go round and round. So we're going to see your tricks and treats now and see how they might be kind of helping maybe the situation or giving you a little bit of advice. So when we're thinking about tricks or treats, right, sometimes we go, if you guys went trick-or-treating as kids, you would go to door, and you might get like the really gross candies at one. I always hated like the popcorn ball. And then, you get like the jackpot candy at another house. So even though these are your tricks and your treats, sometimes the tricks are the positive things and sometimes the treats aren't so great. So we're going to see what you get coming forward. So let's start first with your tricks. What tricks are you playing at this year, or are others playing on you? So group 1, your trick. Ooh, very similar energy happening here. I want to pull your treat as well, though, before we get too into it. So what treat do you have coming in here to hopefully help out this situation? Ooh, and then you get the Death card. Interesting. The Death card feels like a positive note here, though. I know that it could be a scary card, but like I said, I don't know. This is like giving me such a positive spin on usually more difficult cards, which doesn't always happen. So here on your trick, so this is possibly something that's kind of tripping you up, tricking you, possibly the fear that you're having. And you have the 6 of Pentacles here, and the 6 of Pentacles and any 6 is usually representing some sort of reciprocity, some sort of giving. And the 6 of Pentacles is all about trying to both give and receive something, right? You're trying to both share and trade goods, right? There's some sort of trading going on here. So as you can see in this case, one is getting way more candy than the other. And it could just be because this parent is like, I'll get to you next. But regardless, they're feeling that despair. They're feeling that less excitement and just like kind of deflated from the situation and a bit upset. And so when it comes to a trick that's coming into your life, when it comes to this fear that you're overcoming, maybe the fear is about not feeling like you are being treated fairly, or feeling like you're being seen for possibly the work that you're putting in, right? Sometimes we're working towards facing our fears and other people don't really see that, right? And maybe you're not feeling as seen, or you're feeling like other people are able to get over it 5 times easier than you. And that can just be a little bit frustrating sometimes, right? They talked about the word frustrating quite a few times in the guidebook. And so you might just be in a very frustrating place. But when it comes to your treat over here, you have the Death card, which usually, signals something coming to the end. But in this case, because it is relating to a fear here, right? That's our connection. That's telling me that you are being offered, in this case, right? You're not being offered something. You're being kind of snubbed. And in this case, Death is offering you a white rose, and a white being, traditionally more of a fresh, refreshing kind of energy, right, to refresh the situation. And so I really feel like you are on the road to overcoming a fear right now, a fear that's been maybe haunting you for a while, especially with the scythe that the Death card is holding here. It really feels like they've just come from their white rose garden and use their scythe to pick this for you, or to reap this for you. And so you're about to reap the rewards of a difficult situation that you've been going through, where you're not feeling acknowledged, that you're not really getting the recognition for the time and energy and care that you're putting into having to overcome this fear, where other people don't have the fear, and thus you have to work 10 times harder to make something happen. And so I feel like this Death card, Death is giving you the option to not only overcome a fear, but also have a fresh new start because of it, right? Helping you to move forward because of it. So it feels really powerful, this card. And being a major card, a major arcana card, that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to look into what is at the bottom of the candy bowl for you, right? We've got your trick, you've got your treat, but what do you get if you really reach into the bottom of that candy bowl? Are you going to get one of those freaky little hands that pop out, or are you going to get a jackpot? So we're going to see what surprise is lying at the bottom of the candy bowl for you, group 1. Whoa, they are flying. So, ooh, you have courage. I love that. Because we were just talking earlier that I felt like you would need a lot of courage to be able to face a fear, right? And courage is at the bottom of this candy bowl, telling me that I have got to pick all these up real quick, that you have a lot of courage within you. You might have to dive to the bottom of the candy bowl to find it. It might not be the easiest thing to find, and it may take a little bit of work, but I don't think that you are above working for it. You're maybe in a place right now that, you're gaining a lot of momentum towards working through this fear. And so the fact that you have courage coming through is just really exciting to see. Courage to face this death card, courage to face the fear that you're after, courage to even maybe stand up to those who are not giving you the credit for all of the work that you're putting in on the mental side, right, of your thoughts and how you are, working through the behaviors that these fears are trying to control. And it's funny too, because when I'm looking at these costumes, you've got like a leopard here as the person next to you that's gaining all the candy, that's getting all of the credit, that's working far less hard to receive the things that you are due to this fear. And then you have courage overcoming that leopard with a giant very fierce and courageous lion. And so I really love that that's coming forward here, and that you are overcoming some sort of fear. Let's go ahead and look into the charms and see how that is coming forward as well, and see if we get any extra little tidbits of information. Literally diving into the bottom of the charm bowl. So feel free to send your energy in, and let's pull some for you. It's rolling on away. Let's have a little look here. So I'm going to take the two that fell next to it and see where they land. Okay, and I'll zoom you in here so you can see a little bit closer. Okay, so you have the monster charm happening over here right on top of this leopard, which definitely makes sense. It feels almost like someone's getting ahead because they don't have the fear that you do, or someone's being able to, finish something faster, get somewhere farther, earn more money, whatever it might be. But I feel like, they have their fears too. Because it does fall on them. But I feel like maybe this fear is tied to possibly a coworker, to someone who you are feeling deeply compared to, or someone who's maybe, you have a very deep and complicated relationship with. And that's the feeling that I'm really getting here with this charm, giving us some more context here. And you also have kind of just happening in this little corner here of courage and working through your fears. You have a animal companion possibly helping you as well. Possibly someone who has already passed, or someone in your life who's here to help. This is my dear childhood dog, Cody. So if this was a reading for me, I would see it as him. But for you guys, it might be someone else, or someone whom which you look up to or find comfort in. And you also have like the innocence charm coming in here too. So the fact that I said like a childhood dog and then also this innocence charm, and then you have like that white rose feeling with the daisy, it really does feel like a refresh, almost like you're gaining a bit of freedom and innocence back by moving through this fear, right? It's had such a grip on you for so long that to be able to overcome this fear, and I'm not saying that it's just going to overcome by next Wednesday, you know what I mean, or something like that, but I do think that you are taking more risks. You are getting more courageous in order to face this fear. And that's the first step, second step, third step, and continued baby steps from there. And sometimes there's a few steps back and sometimes there's a few steps forward. But, I really feel like you're working through that journey right now. And, death and the animal companion here is really on your side. So those are all of the charms and cards that I have for you for your tricks and treats for the spooky season. I do hope you enjoyed this one and enjoyed the theatrics of it, as well as the fun play with the cards and charms. If you did, definitely be sure to give this video a like, and let me know in the comments down below how you resonated with this, if you saw specific costumes coming forward, if you know who this leopard is, if you are overcoming this fear and how that's going for you, if you'd like to share. And also, if you are dressing up this year for Halloween, I'd love to know what you are dressing up as. And also, if you are interested in these PickACard readings, having a little bit of fun here, definitely feel free to subscribe as I put out new readings every single Monday. I also put out different grimoire tours. I just put up a updated grimoire tour, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. And I also do other fun videos on charm casting and on art magic. And if you're interested in getting your own personal snail mail reading that I send to you in the mail, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, wax sealed closed for your eyes only, on any topic or question on your mind, then definitely feel free to reach out for one of those. Lots of helpful, honest reviews and more information on my Instagram and down below in the description. So with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and leave you there. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me today for our spooky season, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you've decided to choose this airhead in orange, as well as this green crystal, then this is the spooky pile for you, as we are going to be looking into your tricks and treats on their way in for you for the sort of rest of the spooky season and the start of November, but this could be bigger themes that are happening in your life as well. It's a little bit more open-ended and playful as we look into the spooky season messages. We're going to be doing that with the charms, as well as 2 spooky decks with the spellcasting oracle and the trick or treat tarot, which I love using at this time of year. And the spread that we are going to be using today is inspired by the trick or treat tarot in the guidebook, which is the Halloween themed spreads of the trick or treat spread. So we're going to be doing that one here today. And what it talks about is looking into your costume, right? So your mindset right now. We're also going to be looking into your trick and your treat, which may be good or bad depending on the cards that you get, right? Sometimes we get really sour treats that we don't really like. I never liked the popcorn balls that you would get at, going door to door. But you also might have really cool tricks that are coming in. So they're not necessarily positive or negative. There's definitely a gray area there. And then the final card that we'll pull before the charms will be talking about your, surprise at the end of the candy bowl. So I wanted to just credit the guidebook as it was the inspiration for this. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Feel free to get yourself cozy and comfortable with a spooky snack or a spooky drink, and we will get right into it. So let's go. So we're going to look into your mindset here with the costume that you are wearing for the rest of spooky season. Group 2, what mindset are you wearing for spooky season? What is the mindset that you are wearing right now? Interesting. So you got the World card. And the World card, well, at the very beginning of the majors in the this tarot deck, you have the Fool. And the Fool is like someone who's never gone trick-or-treating before. They're a little bit nervous. They don't have any candy. They're, not really sure what they're doing. And here they are at the end of the night, a full tub of candy, and, doing a little peace sign and being quite confident in themselves. So it feels like something has come full circle for you, that you've finished something, or you've recently finished a deadline, or you just finished the last stretch towards something, or you're maybe right at the precipice of that right now. And so your mindset is really surrounded about that, in that you're either right at the end or you've just finished something. You've just got over the biggest hump, right? And so it really feels like there's a little bit of relief there. There's a little bit of playfulness because you can finally breathe a little bit, and a feeling of confidence and of feeling recognized for your work. And so that's really exciting to see for your mindset. And of course, this is just what I'm seeing here, but I want to look into the guidebook as well, because we did this last year and I had a lot of fun looking into what the guidebook has to say. It can be a little bit snarky and fun. So let's go ahead and see what else we can get here from your World card. So it is the number 21, the World. Hey, look, it's our young ghost from the Fool card. They started off looking a little lost with an empty jack-o'-lantern. Now they are here at home with a big smile, loads of candy, and goodwill towards all. What a great adventure. But now it's over. and they're off to bed. Peace out. When this card comes up, you know you've completed an important cycle or phase in your life. In a sense, you've come home to your new self, whether you've graduated some program, become a spouse, a parent, or an auntie, prepared for a new career, or learned a new skill. It's been a journey, and you've done well. The best advice is to celebrate and recognize your accomplishment. Then take a rest because you're probably a little bit tired, in a good way, but still, you need that rest because life will never really stop. All endings are also new beginnings. Who knows what new adventures you'll face? Here's a bonus hint. If you don't know, maybe do a reading about it. The keywords for this card are showed as completion, success, achievement, victory, fulfillment, endings and beginnings, and celebration and travel. So it basically kind of said everything that we already said, but I loved the snarky stuff with like peace out and everything. And the reminder, and that feeling of relief as you finish something, and to give yourself the accomplishment, but also to take a little time and a little bit of rest for you. So that's where your mindset is right now. But of course, we want to look at your tricks and treats. And like I said, not all treats are good and not all tricks are bad. So we're going to be seeing what comes forward for you for both. So what trick do you have coming in? So you have the Devil. Interesting. I don't work with reversals really, but this one clearly was reversed. But before we really talk about it, let's finish with your treat. So group 2. What spooky treat do you got coming in? Ooh, 2 really big, prominent red cards. Red being a very passionate, powerful color that's just feeling really punchy. So you have the 2 of Swords along with the Devil reversed. And so let's start with your trick, because neither of them feel necessarily negative at all. But they both make a lot of sense. So when it comes to something that you maybe been recently finishing up, especially since you got the Devil reversed, the Devil usually talks about when it is upright. A lot of the habits and rituals that we are finding ourselves falling back into time and time again, or ones that we've outgrown and we continue to utilize even though they don't really work for us, right? It's like wearing an old outfit that no longer fits. Sometimes we just gotta wear it because it's all we got. But sometimes we have other options that we're not really looking at. But in this case, because you got it reversed, it's really feeling like this is something you've overcome. This is maybe something that you've recently finished. Maybe that was what this was about. And that maybe the rituals and habits that you've been doing, you've outgrown and you've said peace out to them, right? You're over it, you're done. They did what they needed to do for the time, and now you're over it. You're ready for a new routine. You're ready for a new cycle. So that feels really aligned with your mindset here, and that you're not finding yourself stuck in that web anymore. You're not tied up in these chains. So whatever it is that you've been overcoming, and something that you've been finishing rather, and completing, really is giving you a lot, not only relief like just mentally, but also giving you relief in your time, giving you relief in allowing a little bit more space for yourself, or just moving away from rituals and habits that no longer serve you. Whereas the 2 of Swords here kind of tells another story, in that the treat that's coming in is that even though you have now finished something new is on the horizon. You already have new opportunities showing up at your doorstep, because here you are at the 2 of Swords, right? And they're even in a graveyard, right? Something that's just finished. It can represent endings, right? And so you've just finished something, and yet you're already leaping into action, pointing towards the sky, ready to choose a new path. And so the 2 of Swords usually talks about us, kind of at a crossroads or needing to make a decision that's usually very intuitive, one that you just make in a split decision. It kind of feels like this 2 of Swords was just walking by a graveyard or a cemetery and just decided to go in and whack around some swords. Like, it was very impulsive, but also maybe they just had this pull to go do so. Maybe this playful energy. Whatever it might be, something brought them there. And so I really feel like you are in this crossroads and you're ready to make a new decision to move you forward, especially since you've just finished something, right? Which is the perfect time to start something new, when you've just finished something else. And it seems like you're really set up to do so, right? This feels a very mature spread for sure. So let's go ahead and look at your final card. Before we move to the charms, don't worry, we're going to pull those too. But we want to pull a final card here to look into what is at the bottom of the candy bowl. What surprise is hiding there, right? Sometimes you get those candy bowls with the sort of claw hand popping out to surprise you, which isn't always so great. And sometimes you get surprises that are really wonderful, like finding the full-size candy bar at the bottom, right? So we're going to be seeing what your surprise is at the bottom of the candy bowl. So group 2, what surprise lies at the bottom of the candy bowl for you? So let's have a little look here. Oh, you have 2. How exciting. You got both commitment and manifestation. Commitment makes sense, right? You, especially just coming from the Two of Swords here, where you're trying to make a decision and you have to sort of commit to one based off your intuition or based off an impulse. This makes a lot of sense, like you really need to commit. It also could be just that you put a lot of commitment towards something and you're ready to move forward as well with this manifestation card. The manifestation card really can talk about manifesting something into existence, making a wish on a star and making it happen, right? Sometimes we just make the wishes, but we don't really believe anything's going to come of them. You are making sure that it happens. You know what I mean? So you're really committing. You're really putting in the effort towards some new goal that's coming in because you're over these rituals. You're over the habits that you've been doing. You're over the things that you were recently committed to. They finished and you're seeming very go-getter. You're like, okay, I finished that thing. I'm going to peace out, get some sleep, a little bit of rest, and I'm going to be right back at it with something new. And so I really feel like you're really good at committing to your goals, or at least right now you've got some sort of go-getter energy within you that's really wanting you to manifest some sort of dream, some sort of excitement that you have, or just manifest something because it sounded like fun to go swing around some swords in a graveyard. You know what I mean? That's the feeling that I'm getting from these, that you're doing something for you and you're doing it because you want to commit to it. It's something you made a commitment to yourself for, and you're ready to make that happen. You're not just wishing on the star. You're not just believing it'll happen. It will because you say so. And so I'm loving the energy that you guys are bringing to the table here. Let's go ahead and pull you some charms to finish off your reading as well and get your final little spooky messages. So feel free to have a little conversation with them, and I will pull some for you. Okay, so interesting you had one fly all the way over here. I honestly don't feel like it was a part of it. It kind of was like, put me back, so I put it back. But let's go ahead and zoom you in, and we'll have a little look. So you have quite a few different charms showing up here. The ones that are really pulling to me are on the commitment. So the commitments that you're maybe making are towards something that you've been, like I said, you made a wish on a star, or you made a commitment to yourself in some way towards something that you've been very lit up about, because you have I always think of this, I don't know why, it makes me think of like a giant light in a lighthouse. And so it feels like something that's been beaming right at you, and you're finally following the call, even though, right, we shouldn't actually, lighthouses are supposed to ward us away from rocky cliffs and things when you're on a boat, but in this case we're just talking about it as in a beacon, right? So what is beaconing out to you? And the things that are coming forward, maybe you're making a commitment to a new child in your life, possibly a new fur baby or a animal in which you want to take care of, because you do have the animal charm of this little dog. But at the same time, this also can talk about just a commitment to sort of walking a path that you've kind of paved for yourself, because it makes me feel like, you're walking the dog, and maybe bringing someone along with you to make memories with, because you did get the memories charm of the camera, and the camera also can talk about, changing our perspective, things like that. But I feel like it's very literal, like maybe the path is related to photography or to something very digital, or even in this case, it's kind of more of an analog camera. So maybe it's getting off of your phone. Maybe it's making memories off of your phone, off of the internet, just taking some time to walk your dog, to go for a commitment just to yourself, to go to the beach, whatever it might be. It feels very literal, these charms. So feel free to see how they're, coming forward for you. Here on the manifestation charm, you do have the scaredy cat charm, which is the only thing we've had. We've had a lot of confidence coming through from you, but we do have a little bit of scarcity, or a scared, nervous feeling behind it all with the scaredy cat. So maybe you're having to manifest something, but you're facing a fear at the same time. If that's true and you're really feeling called to this charm, I would definitely check out pile 1 as well. And then you also have the twisted charm. When I'm looking at this one, it just feels really like a situation that feels very twisted. And so maybe the fear is distorting your ability to manifest something. And so it might be something you're working to overcome in order to make this new commitment come forward. And whatever it is, this new path that you're feeling really excited about and you're just intuitively and impulsively working towards, is possibly something that you're feeling like luck is on your side for, because you got the lucky key. So it feels like luck is on your side whether you asked for it or not. And so that's always exciting to have come forward. But overall, those are all of your charms and cards that I have for you for your spooky season messages for your trick and your treat. If you did enjoy this reading and you got something out of it, I would appreciate if you could give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated, what you saw in its spooky messages. And also, if you're dressing up for Halloween, I would love to hear what you are dressing up as well. And if you are interested in these PickACard readings and you want to see more of them, I put out new readings every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, and so much more. So definitely feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on those posts and uploads. And I also put out, art magic videos. I just put out a new updated portion to my grimoire. So if you want to see my art grimoire, you can see that. And I also have a master guide on charm casting as well. So lots of other fun educational videos to check out too. And if you would like to get your own snail mail reading, where I send a letter to you in the mail, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, wax sealed closed for your eyes only on any topic or question on your mind, then definitely feel free to reach out, or check out the helpful and honest reviews over on my Instagram with more information over there and in the description. So with that all said, thank you so much for hanging out here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a spooky, spooky season. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you've decided to choose your spooky snack with the Laffy Taffy here of sour apple and this very bright crystal and in its pink variety, then we are going to get right into it, looking into your tricks and treats. We're going to be doing that with the charms here today, as well as 2 different decks with the Spellcasting Oracle and the Trick or Treat Tarot, which is one of my favorites to use, of course, and it's perfect for this reading. So feel free to get yourself settled and cozy for this. Feel free to get yourself a little spooky drink or spooky snack, and also feel free to put your intuition cap on, as we are going to get right into it, looking into not only the tricks and treats on their way in, but we're also going to be pulling out a few other cards. I've been tripping over my words as we've gotten to your pile, so excuse me for that, but I wanted to give credit where credit is due. I got the idea for the spread that we're using here today from the guidebook for the Trick or Treat Tarot here in the back, and it is the Trick or Treat spread, which is perfect for this. So if you wanted to look at it a little further, here it is, and I wanted to give credit where credit is due. But how it is basically going to work, and we did this last year as well, is we're going to pull a card for your mindset for the current season, right? So this could be just the next couple of weeks, but they could also just be overarching themes happening in your life and your mindset towards them. So we call this your costume card. Then we're going to pull your trick and your treat, which isn't always necessarily a good and or a bad and good thing, but sometimes there's a lot of gray area in there, right? Sometimes we go to houses and we get the popcorn ball. I'm be honest, I didn't like getting the popcorn ball when I went trick-or-treating as a kid, but sometimes you get really cool tricks that other kids do, and it's really fun. So it's not always as obvious as it seems, so we're going to be playing into the gray area there, and then we're going to pull a surprise card at the end. So let's go ahead and get right into it. pulling first your costume. So feel free to connect with the cards here, and let's get into it. So group 3 here, your tricks and your treats for your mindset right now. So, okay, you've got the Hermit as your mindset. I love this Hermit card. It's so accurate, because the Hermit, right, they're like, I kind of want my own space, I want my own solace and my own solitude, and yet they're still going to throw the candy for the kids. They're just going to throw it really high up in their own their own space. And so it's really cool that you have this card coming forward, because this is talking about the costume you're wearing right now, which tells me that maybe you're in a space right now where you just don't want to hang out with everybody. You just want a little bit of time to yourself. You want to enjoy the spooky season with your own little popcorn or candy bowl next to the, TV with your own favorite, movie on or something like that. And that's totally valid. That's totally fine. You don't have to get into the social aspect of it for the spooky season. Outside of spookiness, though, right, this can just be talking about in general. Your mindset right now is just taking time to do things for yourself, working on a little bit of inner healing as well, as the Hermit can really talk about needing that space in order to make space to heal on the inside. And so there's a lot of energy coming forward towards that as well when it comes to the costume that you are wearing and the mindset that you have at the current moment. So just like last year, I wanted to read specifically just on your costume card to really get a bigger hone in on where you are kind of at right now, so we can figure out how it connects later to the rest of your cards. So we're going to look deeper into your Hermit here. And it's the number 9, and it says here, wait a minute, aren't hermits supposed to be solitary creatures, hidden away in some lonely cave or abandoned castle? That's only part of the hermit story. It makes sense that someone who seeks for truth in the dark and is used to navigating through shadows comes out on Halloween to shine a light for others. When this card comes up, you will be required to spend some time alone figuring things out. This card advises you to stop gathering information and opinions, at least for now. It's time to rely on your own heart and mind to sift through what you already know. Like a miner looking for gold, the life of a hermit can be tempting, leaving all the troubles of other people behind. Being a hermit in our world isn't about a lifestyle, but a practice. We continue to live in society, interacting with others. This brings us to the second part of the hermit's job. Once truth has been found, hermits share what they have learned with their community. They sprinkle the light they've discovered like a wizard sprinkling candy from a rooftop. And the words here are solitude, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, guidance, seeking, and privacy. I love what they talked about, because I didn't really think about that part of it when I was talking about the beginning, but the idea of once we've kind of hit a point where, say we've gone through, a really difficult time, and then at the end of that difficult time, we've somehow overcome that and we are now past it. But now we are able to use that wisdom, use that experience in order to shine a light on others who maybe need that wisdom at that time, right? Usually when we go through a hard thing, a year later, someone else may be going through something similar, and you want to be there for them. And you feel like you actually can, because you have that experience, you have that wisdom, you have that reflection that the hermit has taken out of their time to do. And so you're either the hermit right now going through this situation, or some of you might be on the other side of it, where you are the one sprinkling a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of experience, and a little bit of care towards those who also need it. And so it's really beautiful to see this coming forward as your costume card and the mindset that you're in right now. But like I said, I want to look further, and we're going to be looking into your trick and treat card. It's going to be a bit of a gray area, so we're going to see how that shows up for you. So we're going to start first with your trick. Right, so what in your life right now is coming through as a trick? So you have the 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. And then we'll go ahead and pull your treat card. So what treat is on its way in for you as this hermit? You have the Moon. Okay. So what I'm really getting here just from the start is that there's definitely a gray area here, and that I feel like the majority of you are maybe currently both in a difficult and tight spot that you're trying to heal and move through, but at the same time are also able to share that healing and experience because you do have the moon coming forward as your treat. And what better example of someone shining a light than the moon, right? Someone who's shining the light and sharing wisdom. But the moon does have illusions. The moon does show that you don't have all the answers. You're still bobbing for answers, bobbing for apples here. And so I really do feel like there is a sense of both knowing and not knowing everything. And that's a really good place to be, right? Who wants to get, advice from someone who thinks that they know it all because they've gone through one difficult thing? So this just showcases a lot of wisdom that you have and a lot of learning still to do. And so I like that is your treat, that you're able to treat others, but also feel like you're working through to gain that treat in your situation that you're maybe working through right now. And then you also have the Four of Pentacles, and so this is your trick. And interestingly, the Four of Pentacles usually talks about kind of holding and hoarding things, hoarding information to yourself. And so the trick here in the fact that you're literally sharing in both of these cards, you're sharing a light, you're shedding a light on something, showcases that maybe the thing that you're currently still working through, you're kind of holding close to your chest because you haven't fully worked through it. It's something you're working on. You're wanting a bit of privacy. You're wanting a little bit of time to figure it out yourself. And so this isn't the thing that you are currently shining with, right? Instead, you are looking to the light around you, other people, to maybe shine a light to help you. So there's a lot of reciprocity happening here, a lot of give and take, where you are shining a light, but others are shining a light towards you. And it's a really beautiful support system that I'm seeing here, and a really beautiful shared experience that's coming forward with a lot of empathy, care, and understanding. So let's go ahead and rummage to the bottom of the candy bowl to see what is hiding as a surprise there. So imagine, diving deep to the bottom of the candy bowl. Some of you are going to get that creepy hand that pops out, and some of you might be getting, the best, biggest candy bar at the bottom. So we're going to be seeing what your surprise at the end of the candy bowl is. So what's at the bottom here as a surprise for you, group 3? Definitely feel free to send your energy in. Ooh, you have protection. Not what I was expecting, but it feels right in that, like I said, you're sprinkling that wisdom and that experience, right? So you're wanting to be able to protect someone maybe who's going through a difficult situation right now, but also you're feeling protected at the same time. And the fact that you have the globe coming forward as sort of their pregnant belly here, it makes me think that you are really getting into that reciprocity feeling, right? That there's a shared experience there. There's a shared common knowledge, a shared human experience in which you are sharing with another person or sharing with several people, maybe at specific groups, maybe by talking online to someone, maybe through therapy, maybe through just having a chat with your friend. Whatever it might be, you're feeling protected, you're feeling understood. There's a feeling of care and really true empathy coming forward. In a way that could also show a lot of support. And so I really love that you're getting this, not only the keyword protection, but all of those other ones with compassion, empathy, and support coming through the most. This can also talk as well about spiritual protection as well, because I see like little angel wings, there's a butterfly here, and there's more of that earthly energy with the actual earth here. And so it could also be that some of you are feeling very protected and looked out for on a spiritual sense by your spirit team. So any spirits that you're working with, deities, gods, goddesses, loved ones beyond the veil, and others, especially with this spooky season right now as we're going through the veil thinning and almost at the thinnest for the season. This makes a lot of sense, and that they're coming forward to maybe even share experiences and sprinkle a little bit of experience towards you, right? Especially with loved ones coming through the veil who want to bestow a bit of wisdom towards you from their own experience. So really cool to have that coming forward. But let's go ahead and finish with the charms and see what they have to say. So feel free to have a little conversation with them here and see how they are speaking to you. And let's pull some for you. So I will zoom you in here so you can really see. And I'm going to pick this one up because it didn't actually fall on anything. But you have a couple of different things. So you have the manipulation charm coming forward here, right on the card of illusion. So it really does feel like there is this illusion energy coming forward with the moon, which, like I said, you're still kind of bobbing for apples. There's something unknown about your own situation in which you're still learning. It feels like the moon is both half full and half, shaded, with a waning or waxing moon there, with a quarter moon. And so I really feel like that illusion is kind of twisting information for you, and that's something that you are currently working through, and that's why it's helpful to get guidance from people outside of you who are not as close to the situation. As you do have the number 2 coming forward, and you also got which 2 is a number of partnership. I'm getting ahead of myself, but you also got the charm of spirit guides sort of working behind the scenes towards a common goal for you. So it feels like they are working behind the scenes to make something happen or to work out for you, protecting you in some way. So it's really beautiful to see this one coming forward, and it's wrapped around the number 2, which is a number of partnership. So it can be that it's that reciprocity we talked about. It can be that the 2 can represent, a partnership with a spirit of yours. But since it fell on the 4 of Pentacles as well here, it tells me that where you are kind of using your trick as an illusion over other people so they can't really get into your business, that you're still kind of working through some sort of experience that you're healing from, trying to work through behind the scenes. It seems that spirit is at least pushing you towards someone which could share some experience or give you some support around this right now, especially since, like I said, there's still a lot of unknowns for you, or they're really working to make sure that you are protected. So it could go one of 2 ways, but it really does feel like it's there, and they're really here to make you feel secure and protected, as you got the security charm as well. But overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, group 3. I hope that this has been useful and helpful to you moving through your spooky season, or anything else you might be working through right now. If it was and you got something out of it, I would appreciate if you could give this video a like, and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated. If you saw something else in the cards or the charms, I'd love to hear. And also, I'd like to hear if you are dressing up for Halloween. I'd love to hear what you're dressing up as. And if you are interested in more of these PickACard readings and you want to see more of the readings that I do here, definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new readings every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, and so much more. And I also like to sprinkle in some educational videos and art magic. So I've got an entire master guide on charm casting and other fun art magic videos. But I also just put up last week an update to my art grimoire. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that one out. And if you have a question or theme that you want to explore even further, my snail mail readings are open as well. They're a little bit more limited as we move into the Halloween, or into the more holiday season, but definitely feel free to reach out, as I do have a couple open for slots for snail mail readings where I send a letter to you in the mail. It's typewritten on a vintage typewriter, so it's easy and clear to read, has that old world kind of feel to it, and it's wax sealed closed as well for only your eyes. And if you have anything you want to look into, or you have more questions about them, more information will be down below through my Instagram, as well as just in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Lots of helpful reviews over there too. But with that all said, I hope you enjoyed this spooky reading, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.